Hi everyone, my name's Mia, and the video that I'm making today is a book wish list because something I've realized about myself recently is that I have a bit of shiny object syndrome when it comes to books, and I like to read the books that I've most recently bought. So, to avoid having stacks of unread books on my shelves, I am just kind of buying books at the pace that I'm reading them, and I'm buying the books that I'm interested in reading at the moment of purchasing. So I'm going to be waiting until I want to read them in the moment, or if I come across them secondhand, then I'll buy them then. But yeah, these are the books on my radar. And I just want to preface saying that, like, I don't know too much about what these books are about, to be honest. I have general vibes, or they're authors that I've read things from before that I really enjoyed. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how we go. So the first one is Boulder by Eva Baltasar. From what I understand, this is a queer book about motherhood, which I find super interesting, especially because I think that one of the women in the relationship was hesitant about becoming a mother in the first place. So it's kind of about the aftermath of like having this child and her thoughts around that, which I think sounds super interesting. And I've heard really, really good things about it from some other people. So that's on my radar. The next one is Collected Lyrics by Patti Smith. This is a book I saw in a bookshop recently when I was overseas, but it was quite expensive when I did the conversion rate to Australian dollars. So I am just waiting until I find it in store somewhere here, or I'll order it online. But yeah, not until the exact moment that I want to read it. The next one is The Idiot by Elif Batuman, and I'm specifically want like the pale pink cover with the picture of the rock. Um, I really like that design, so I'm looking for that one. We have a different one in Australia that's like more colorful, that's still nice, but I love the pink one specifically. And from what I understand, this book is about a young woman who um, is attending university in like the late 90s. That's all I really know. But I'm excited to read it. I've heard so much about it. And yeah, when I come across it, I will get it. The next one is Your Love Is Not Good. And to be honest, I don't know what this book is about at all. I heard it recommended by Grandpa's Book Club and it sounded good. I think it's a queer book and yeah, no idea what it's about. Sounded good, on my radar. The next one is Pure Color by Sheila Heti. I recently read Alphabetical Diaries by Sheila Heti, and I read Motherhood by her a few years ago. I love them both. I absolutely love Alphabetical Diaries. It's a new favorite for sure, and I think I also read it at the right time, so I really, really loved it so much. And since then, I'm like, I have to read more by Heti. So Pure Color is on my radar. Again, specifically the one with that like green blob as the cover. I love that one and looking for that. So the next one is also by Sheila Heti and it's How Should a Person Be? I don't think I've actually seen this around in bookstores much at all. And to be honest, I have no idea what it's about, but because I love Sheila Heti, I'm going to read it. So when I find that, I'll grab it. The next one is I Love Dick by Kraus, which again I think is like somewhat of a queer classic, but I don't really know what it's about. I think it's about a couple, but one of the people in the relationship is interested in someone outside of the relationship, but her and her partner work together to like contact this person. I'm not sure, but I want to read it. The next one is actually a book that I have already read, and it's called The Museum of Modern Love. I listened to the audiobook of it sometime last year and absolutely loved it. It was so fantastic. It's set against the backdrop of Marina Abramovich's performance piece, The Artist is Present, that was on at MoMA, and it's about a few different characters who all go to see this performance, and then it's about their lives kind of outside of witnessing this art. And oh my goodness, it's so good. And I want to reread the physical copy because I remember the writing being fantastic and I just want to underline some things. This is a book that I actually have never seen in stores. I know the cover because I've seen it in the library a couple of times, but I've never seen it in a bookshop. So when I come across it, I will be grabbing it. The next two actually are The Cost of Living and Real Estate by Deborah Levy. I've already read Things I Don't Want to Know and I really liked it. And so I'm looking for the other two books in this trilogy. And I'm going to a book fair soon that generally has really good books in really good condition with really good pricing. So I'm hoping to find these two. Well, I have my eye out for them at least. But yeah, they're on my radar. Similarly, the next two, Kudos and Transit by Rachel Cusk, are on my radar, especially with this book fair coming up. I already have Outline, which I found secondhand, and I thought that because these books in this trilogy is quite popular, that I would find it secondhand. So I'm just kind of waiting for that. Technically, I've already read the trilogy, but I say that hesitantly because it was a few years ago when I was listening to the audiobooks while crocheting a cardigan for my sister, and I just like wasn't totally focused on what was happening, but I loved the writing and I knew that I wanted to reread the physical copy with my, all my underlining and dog earing and stuff. So I don't really consider that I've read them because I didn't like engage with them in the way that I wanted to. So I'm looking for, the physical copies and then I'll fully and properly read them. The next one is Chelsea Girls by Eileen Myles. And I'm reading one of their poetry books at the moment, which I'm really enjoying. And this one is like an autobiographical novel about them and their life growing up. And it's also about being a poet in New York in the 1970s, which I want to read about. So, yeah, that's on my radar. Then the next one is The Möbius book by Catherine Lacey. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing Möbius right. I've never actually said that word aloud, but I've had my eye on this ever since I saw it on Ocean Vong's Instagram story when he was recommending, like highly, highly recommending the book after he read the arc. And I know that it's like something genre bendy and it's about Catherine Lacey's life after a shock breakup. Just super curious, and it plays with form a lot, which I always love in a book. So, yes. Then we have Cold Enough for Snow by Jessica Au, which I heard about recently and is a book about a mother and daughter traveling through Tokyo. And I think the book is really short and it's just about their experiences and observations just being in the city together. And I love that kind of stuff. So I'm interested in that. Next, we have A Horse at Night on Riding by Amina Cain, which is just a book about a writer on writing, which I love. It's one of my favorite things to read. I don't really know much else about it. That's all I know, and that's all I need to know. So yeah, I want to read that. The last book that is on my wish list is Bibliophobia by Sarah Chihaya. It's a memoir, and I believe it's about certain books that change the author's life, kind of in the style of like Olivia Lang, and kind of in the style of Olivia Lang, and kind of looking at these different pieces and their context, and then the context within the author's life, which I love. And I recently read The Lonely City by Olivia Lang and I loved it. So I want to read something in a similar vein. And yeah, I have my eye out for that. Again, I haven't seen it in stores much, but I only recently learned of it. So maybe I just haven't had an eye out for it. So yeah, those are the books that are on my wish list that I'm really excited to read at some point whenever they come across my path or when I'm specifically seeking them out because I have an urge to read them right away. And I'm really excited for that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.